the east, from the east, from the east. From the east, from the east, from the east.
Fearless, smart, powerful, and the boss. And she's a woman. That's gonna be today's subject title, T. I wanna introduce to you guys my friend Tatiana Scott, AKA Fit with Curves. What's up, baby?
Hey, thank you for having me.
Long time.
I appreciate it.
Long time.
Yes, it's been a long time.
I've been knowing you at least over a decade. I was thinking about that on the drive
Yeah,
here.
it has. It's been a long time. Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time.
Long time. We're
Yeah.
old. Well, you're old. I'm young.
No, sir. Get it together. let's switch that up.
You know what's funny? I was on the way here. I was thinking about the first time I met you in person, where we had a conversation. I was a little scared. I don't know if I ever told you that.
No.
I was a little, not intimidated. Scared is the word. We did. I think I invited you to come do a YouTube workout. I was doing like a weekly workout. And here's this fit chick. Like, she is so freaking fit. She comes in, and I don't know if you remember this. I was like, hey, don't embarrass me. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep up.
I can't. Yes, I do.
I wouldn't have never guessed that moment leading up to 10 more years that we'll still be connected and be able to support if we need it, motivate, encourage, watch each other. And I've seen you grown to do so many amazing things.
you.
And today I want to highlight you, not as just a woman in the fitness space, but a woman that has done incredible work inside the fitness space and outside.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we haven't sat down in a while,
We haven't.
so we're going to do it on a podcast.
Okay.
And today's, I guess, dialogue, it don't have to be me just interviewing you or asking you questions.
Right.
Like, ask your boy some questions as well.
Uh-huh.
But this series is about men learning how to communicate, obviously, with other women. And I think
Right.
that's been a thing that I can verbally declare out loud that I can do a better job. Right, with all the women in my life, sometimes I'm the man, so I gotta hold it in. I can't really share how I really feel. So I'm intrigued to see your response when it comes to my reaction to maybe something you asked me, or me telling you something out of transparency that you may have never even known. So
Right. Okay.
let's dive into this.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
You've been in the fitness game for how long?
For almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
The beginning of next year will be 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Decade
Yeah,
in the
decade. It's
game.
crazy.
And how did you get into fitness?
So I started training right after high school, where most of us end up gaining a ton of weight, right? And so for me, I have a family history, like most minorities, of diabetes and high blood pressure. My mom actually is in the hospital right now, but that's a whole different story. But she has 3 toes gone from diabetes, and so I knew at a young age, like in my early 20s, that if I wanted to live a long time, not just live a long time, but have a high quality of life,
Right.
that I was gonna have to make fitness a lifestyle. And so I started working out in my early 20s, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the way my body looked, and I fell in love with the way that I felt. And so I set out on a mission to get my degree in kinesiology and help other women feel the same way. It took me a little bit to step out on faith and actually start using it. So I did that about 10 years ago. And since then, I haven't stopped being able to help women feel the same way that I felt when I work out.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. And I don't know this. What did you do prior to fitness? You said before your baby
So
shower.
before fitness, while I was in my undergrad getting my degree, I was actually in investments. So I used to work for an investment company for 6 years, and then after that, I was actually in insurance sales. So I was a top producer in insurance sales in Dallas. So yeah, that's what I did before.
That was in Dallas.
That was in Dallas. So, well, I was in Houston first, and I was working with the top producer here, and they wanted me to open up an office in Dallas.
Okay.
So I moved to Dallas to open up an office there.
And you're not from either, right?
I'm not from either. I'm from San Antonio.
Yeah.
So I was born and raised in San Antonio. And I was in Dallas, and so nothing against Dallas people if you're in Dallas, but I'm Houston, sorry. I didn't like it, and I wanted to come back, and they wouldn't let me leave. So I started working for another insurance company here. I didn't like it. Ended up getting laid off, and I was just like, you know what? Instead of working for someone else again, I'm gonna just step out on faith and do my own thing. So I started training people, and that was that.
That was it.
Yeah.
So the first word in this series is actually fearless.
Yeah.
That sounds like somebody that just really stepped in and didn't allow fear to dictate your next step. Now, was fear a reality for you, or were you just fearless, like nothing bothers you?
Fear was a reality for me for sure. I was definitely scared, but you know what? It's so crazy. My mom always says this about me, but I always feel like God got me no matter what I do, right? So, wherever I am in my life, He always makes sure that I'm okay. So I don't know. I just had I just stepped out on faith. I really just felt like he got me,
Yeah.
And so I think once I started, I guess doing a bunch on social media and realizing that I was just getting calls for training, I was just like, you know what, I can do this. And I think, having that sales background also helped me realize like it's a grind, right? So as long as I could get you on the phone and I'm, selling you what I can provide you, I was getting clients,
You were good.
and I was good. I was driving all around Houston at that point. It was so ridiculous.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there. I said this on the podcast prior, my biggest concern of fear actually in this industry was getting my first bicep muscle, right? So my first reaction with trying to train a lady, she actually told me to get some biceps before I approach her. But I think that the thing that I want to pour out from a woman perspective, because I have no idea, T, what you've been through in this industry when it comes to fear. I mean, it seems outside looking in that this industry is led by men. Would you agree or disagree when it comes to not necessarily who's better, but it seems like if somebody goes to a gym, you have more men trainer out there versus ladies. I think it's the last year or two has been a little different, but I wonder when you first started, what is this, 2021?
Yeah.
And 2011, was that even a thought like, man, majority of these guys out here are men versus women? What was that like for you?
That was never, to be honest with you, that was never a thought for me. I never thought like that, but I do know what you mean. Like when you go into a gym, you do typically see male trainers. Even the gym that I used to train from and rent space from, it was majority male trainers. There was only 2 women in there out of the probably 12 trainers that were in there. It was 2 women and the rest were men. So I understand what you mean. I guess I never thought about it like that. You know what? Because I kind of feel like the majority of people who come to train with a trainer are normally women.
That's
and
true.
so if you can appeal to a woman, and a lot of women do like to work with women.
100%.
And so, I never really thought about like that. But yes, I do believe that it is a male-dominant industry. When as far as when you walk into a gym and see who's in there training.
I love the tunnel vision though, because what if you would have focused on, there's only 2 women in here, or notice most men around here are these bulky guys, and here's this woman trying to tell other people what to do. I love your insight of like, women probably want to look like me, or I know what a women actually feel like, the cycle week or whatever it may be.
Right.
I'm outside looking in, T, it seems like at that time in 2011, you used the term social media. Instagram wasn't around, or was it around?
It literally just started then.
It just started.
And I think it just started 2011 to in 2012, somewhere around there is when
and
it
that's
started.
how I found out about you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how it was. I'm guessing I'm strolling, or it might have been I don't know if it was hashtags then, but I did come across your profile, and I was like, Fit with Curves. I was like, oh, this is dope. And you were like going hard in these workouts. I kept following you. I just kept noticing like how consistent you was. Was that a sales or mentorship that you learned when it came to consistency, or is that something you just had in you and you did it?
I think it was, to be honest with you, I don't know. I just got on because I was working out anyways, right? So I think at the time I was training for a competition, and so I was working out anyways, and it was something. And there was something motivating about going on there and like showing, helping other people see that they can do this too. And so I just started filming all my workouts. And at the time I was working out twice a day.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me to just film it and post it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it was when it first started. And so hashtags were legit, right? So you could literally put a hashtag and you would get like a bunch of followers. So I would use Houston Personal Trainer at the time, and I would get a bunch of support, and I would get people, contacting me and asking me to train them.
Yeah.
And so,
Way to monetize it.
yeah,
I missed that window. I don't think I got on
Yeah.
Instagram until like a year or two later. I was a Facebook dude, so I was like, man, I'm
Yeah.
Facebook, and then I was like, damn, I really missed out on a lot of opportunity. But I do want to talk about fear when it come to social media, because
Right.
there are going to be a lot of people that are obviously in the fitness space that watch this podcast or listen to it, or just people that are just want to do something different that they've never done. Like, it is so hard for people to actually put themselves in front of a camera and then actually upload it. Was that ever a fear for you, or you were just like, dude, I'm in?
No, I was definitely
Yeah.
fear. I'm super shy, actually, to be honest
Really?
with you. No, no.
Really?
Super.
She probably got like 1,000
No,
videos.
I'm super.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like as I've started to put myself out there and I've started doing more, I'm less, right? So before we couldn't even be on this podcast. I mean, we couldn't even do this right now.
Really?
No, I would have been no.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very much of an introvert, naturally, and so I like to be behind the scenes. To be honest with you, I don't even have to be the face of my brand. I love helping people, which is why I'm here. But I don't even have to be the face of my brand. Like I'm an introvert, so.
That's funny. It's Jared's behind the camera working it,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know how we got on an old YouTube video of me. And it was like over a decade, 12, 11, whatever years ago. He's like, you sound different. And I was just like, when going back looking at old archive videos, it's like, it's hard to watch
It is.
because, man, I was bad. I was really, really bad and really, really skinny and really, really corny, but still kind of corny. But I think the thing that I want people to hear out of this is that, man, it may not be perfect to press play and to record, but man, the only way you get better at that thing is by doing the thing, right? So, I don't know, man.
That's very true.
Go get it. Don't be, and I can talk about being fearless or dealing with fear for, the X amount of time on this podcast, but the hope, the prayer for the person that sees or hears this is don't allow fear to dictate your next step. I wouldn't be here. I don't believe T would be here if we operated off fear. So for the entrepreneur, for the person in the relationship, for the person that wants to start or do something never done, fear cannot be the thing that detour you. Let me ask you this as we finish with fear. As a woman, do you think that you've allowed fear to dictate something in your life outside of fitness?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. No, for sure. At one point, I wanted to travel a little bit more. I kind of wanted to leave, Texas. I'm from San Antonio, right? So Houston is just 2.5 hours away, right? So I can still go back home and visit my family if I need to. But I've wanted to leave before, like go to New York or California, and so that's a little scary, right? So starting all over, like my base is completely different, right? So I have allowed that probably to prevent me, and could it have possibly pushed me forward? Possibly, you know? I would have had my base in a different city, and so could have potentially. So yeah, no, for sure. For sure I have. So I take little baby steps, right? So I'm good here, God, you got me here, but California, I'm scared about that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I have.
Yeah.
I have for sure.
And it's normal, right?
Right.
And if I was to, not if, as I'm being transparent, one of my biggest things when it comes to fear personally is allowing God to do it versus Chris to do it. Like that is so real. Actually, last Sunday, we was the speaker at our church, Sean, he was actually speaking about that, allowing God to be God in essence, right? And that's my thing. Like I want to macro manage every aspect of my life. And I think that as I continue to allow, and we all have our spiritual belief, right? Everybody has their own spiritual belief, but for my faith is allow God to be God, and Chris is just Chris, and that's my fear, like letting go of that. So I'm saying that to say, y'all listen, like we all deal with fear, and some fears we allow to detour, but I believe even with the fear that you mentioned about traveling or relocating, maybe that does expand, and that doesn't mean, because we're young, right? We still have plenty of time to do that, and the same thing for me. Hopefully I have plenty of time to allow God to do what he needs to do, but fear does exist, but we don't have to let it take over.
Right. True.
Smart. That's the second thing that I want to mention about a woman. I think you're so creative. I think you're so smart. Outside looking in, like I've seen the amount of shifts that have taken place within your brand. And just like you and myself, if we are still doing what we would have done 10, 11, 12, 13 years ago, we probably wouldn't be relevant right now.
Right.
What would you say has been one of the things that you strategically have done, let's say since COVID, right, that really helped you as a business owner?
Well, for me, I know for a fact that when the gyms closed because of COVID and I stopped training physically in the gym, of course, I was blessed to be able to build a social media presence. So I was able to bring all my clients online.
Yeah.
So I think that's what has been a blessing for me, is to realize that I can bring my clients online. I don't have to actually physically be in the place to be able to get people read results. And
Was
so,
that hard at that time? Because the COVID time, it was really weird, T, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, I think people expected everybody to have the answer from the fitness space. It was like, when it closed, everybody's like, oh, Chris, what are we doing now? And I was like, winging it, right? For you, I'm curious, was that a strategic move that you just sat down and planned out for weeks, or did you just kind of jump into the transition, not knowing what was gonna look like and be like and feel like 6 months from now? Or you might have had a blueprint because you T.
No, I definitely didn't have a blueprint. No, I didn't. So for me, I literally just jumped into it. So they said the gyms were closing. I asked my clients, are you comfortable with training outside? So we went to the parking lot, we went to the gym. We went to the park and we made it happen, right? And so, you literally just have to move when things, with the punches, right? So when life gives you something, you have to move and make it happen. And so that's what I did. And a lot of my clients were actually more comfortable training outside because they didn't want to be in a closed atmosphere, right? With everything that was going on. So from there, I was able to, because I've been blessed to kind of build that social media presence, I have clients all over the world. And so I've been able to train people that I wouldn't have been able to train physically, right?
That's awesome.
So people who live in New York or Louisiana or California. So it's different. So I enjoy it, actually.
And just to kind of put you a little insert in for my girl T, if they did, I put all this at the bottom of the description. How would they find you?
So you can find me at Fit with Curves on Instagram. I'm at Fit with Curves on all social media. And then my website is fitwithcurves.com.
Yeah, that's dope. So when you say all over, what is that like? Are you doing more of a Zoom? Are you more sending workouts out? Are you doing more consultations, emails? What does it look like to train with you?
So I do a little different now. So what I do is, so I do group virtual I have a group virtual fitness program.
Awesome.
So I do live classes in the morning time. I have various live classes if that's what my clients want. But I do live classes, and it's group classes. Outside of the group classes, you also have access to my app. And I give you maybe 9 or 8 exercises a day. I tell you how many reps or how many sets to do. You can upload progress pictures in there. So everything's virtually.
That's so awesome.
Everything's virtually, yeah.
How would that look 10 years ago? If I'd have told you when I met you, hey, Miss Scott, you're going to be doing all of this. Would have you believe that?
I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't even believe that virtually would have worked, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I
was
wouldn't
against
think.
it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, seriously, I didn't think it would work.
Yeah.
But so many people love it, and so especially I find that a lot of women who don't feel comfortable going into the gym, they love it, and a lot of people who have families, they want to be able to just wake up and get their workout out of the way and be done. They don't want to have to leave the house, right? And so that convenience. But it's good. It's been good, and so I've been able to help people that I normally wouldn't have been able to help, and it frees up a lot of my time, right? So before I was like, training all day long, and of course a long time ago I was even traveling all over Houston, and so now I can literally help you from my home.
That's it.
So it's nice.
That's it. And a reality for fitness and any other, I guess, self-based operator owner. And what I mean by operator owner means you are the operator and you are the owner. So I don't know about you, but we don't have 50 different people working for the brand, right? So with you having to be remote and program and answer emails and phone calls and post on social media, it really is a lot. So it's so beautiful to see you now and be able to optimize a little bit more. Out of curiosity, you may need some time to process this, and in that case, we're just gonna look at the camera like this. But is there a similar trait that you have when you very first started your brand? Because you said you were in a new city, you didn't really know anybody, you wasn't, a 10-year vet when you started your fitness industry aspect. You started from ground zero. Did you notice anything similar then to now when you repivot to just all virtual? Is there anything similar, just out of curiosity?
No, I can, there's definitely some similarities. I think it's the drive, right? So like, this is my brand, this is my baby, and so I'm going to push and work hard to make it grow, right? And so that same being able to like sell everything and start from scratch and work my way up. Like, I'm not scared to fail. Like, I'm not scared to start from scratch and work my way up again, right? I think when you are passionate about something and when you believe in yourself and when you know that you have a product that is good, that you're okay with going out there and getting it, right? Because you know that people are going to grab towards it, right? Because you are being honest. You are, you know, there's something truthful about you, right? So, and you actually have a product that is that people want, right? And it's not a gimmick and it's not a scam, but it actually works. And you are truly trying to help people live longer, right? So I'm not trying to, you know, make you, which there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, but I believe because my product is something that is actually helping people live longer, and I actually care about your life. That God got me, right? That He's gonna make me excel. I'm not out here trying to sell you a scam. I don't sell waist trainers and detox teas, and so
Man.
Yeah.
I ought to ask her for her Cash App because y'all should be paying for these things she's telling you. And you know, I think T, if I can put like a caption under your Instagram post that you just made, is like, if you're true to what you do and you believe in it, like there's certain things that just don't change, like determination, that go-getter mentality, consistency, sacrifice. I hope nothing crazy like the pandemic happened again, but I believe whatever comes your way, you take what works well for you and you just pivot it and put that same energy. And I think that's where a lot of us kind of disconnect, because if I was to use, I really want to use something outside of fitness as an example, but since you're in fitness and I'm here, you think of someone that wants to transition their body, man, the same effort that you put in getting that degree or that doctrine or in your marriage, got to be the same effort you put into losing weight or whatever it may be in a standpoint of finding goals. So I hope you guys heard what she said, man. Like, the thing she did 10 years ago and the thing that she did now, there's some common traits that are going to be the reason why you succeed. And I believe no man can take that from you if God gave it to you. So, man, be fearless, be smart, be strategic. T, I'm going to go to another thing, but before I go, so because I get to talking fast, I'm catching up with the homie. Is there anything you want to ask me on those two things before I move forward? Are you good?
No, I just want to say Chris is great. Like, so y'all already know that, right? Chris is great. And so not a lot of people can give me my little nap time, but I'm here because it's Chris. Like, very honest, very professional, always. Chris is the man. Yeah. Yeah.
That was brought to you by sponsorship. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love it. Yeah. All right, so just move forward. So with fitness, right? I think we both do this, and it's cool when I get to jump on your live. I don't know if I'd be like unprofessional at that moment.
No,
but
you're
when
not.
You be on live, I'd be like, hey.
You see, I say your name every time I see you. Yeah, I know.
I don't even know if it's supposed to be like all women on or not, but I'm like, hey, T, I'm here.
Yeah.
But what does it feel like and look like when you are transparent at moments about what you go through or what you feel sometimes versus just all fitness, all push-ups, all squats? Do you ever catch yourself saying, hey man, I'm kind of going through it, or hey, I've lost weight or put on weight? I've seen some things that I don't know if you notice that you put out there, but it has been encouraging to me, and I'm curious, did you even recognize you put yourself out there being transparent? And if you can't remember one, I'll tell you one.
I mean, I probably do recall certain ones. I don't know which one you're talking about specifically, but I do recall certain ones. Like, this journey is not easy. Like, I tell people all the time, like, I'm not one of those people who is a size 0, size 2. Like, I have to work my butt off. Like, majority of the women in my family are morbidly obese. Like, I'm talking about like 300 pounds or bigger. I have to work hard just to maintain this. And so for someone who's curvy in the fitness industry, and people, you know, probably have a certain perspective of you, right? Because they see this curvy girl and they're like, but she's a trainer, right? And so, it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard dealing with that. Because I don't, like I said, I have to work really hard to maintain my weight and to stay healthy. And so I try to tell people that, and I think that's the reason why a lot of my clients come to me, because they do know that it's natural. They do know that I'm realistic. They do know that I kind of face some of the same things that they face, right? Having weight loss problem. So no, it's definitely hard. So
what fuels
that's
you?
what.
Yeah, no.
So
I just wanted to go into like with us, we put what we want on Instagram.
Yeah,
we put what we want on Facebook, right?
We do.
And very few moments you might catch T or myself or somebody that will put actually something that they're going through or what they've been through or what they conquered. So I guess what I want to get to, as we talked about being fearless, we talked about being strategic and being smart, but also there's so much oil you can pour out if you don't put the correct oil inside.
Right.
And for Tatiana, I'm just curious, like what fuels you? What do you do outside the push-ups that make you say, man, I can go empower the world the way that you do?
For me, it would have to definitely be my relationship with God.
Yeah.
For sure. No, that definitely is what fuels me. I think I've always had, somewhat of a personal relationship. Through the pandemic, I haven't been going to church, Chris. Don't get on me. But
We all just got back. We're all working on it.
But I will say that it's like that personal relationship with God is what fuels me. Like I know that He has me, and I know that I have a purpose, right? And that there's something that I should be doing every single day.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think continues to fuel me.
I love it.
For sure.
I love it. So many of us have different jobs, right? Some of you are nurses or doctors or attorneys or whatever you're in education. You pour out so much, and then I see so many people that come into the gym or people that I consult, and they just be done one day. They're just like, Chris, I can't go today. And I always ask, like, what have you done for you to fill you up? And I think it's so important. We're talking spiritual, right? Like, for you and I, we feel like we need to be spiritually fed to be able to give out X, Y, Z. I'm asking you guys to kind of take that moment and see what's that fulfillment for you to give you fuel, because at the end of the day, I like to use the example on an airplane. They always say you can't put a mask on anyone else until you put a mask on you first. And that has to be the same demeanor. Yes, she's fearless. Yes, she's smart, but she also has to be fueled up. And I will be very honest with you. There's times I don't fuel up correctly, and I burn out. Right? You ever see me take like a social media break?
I've done it too.
You know what I mean? Like, what happened to Mean Green? He ain't posting nothing in a week. Like, man, I'm burnt out.
Right.
And that really goes into the times where I don't get spiritually fed the way that I need to, or even for me to eat. I'm a Starbucks guy. I became really bougie in the last 3 years of Starbucks. Chai tea lattes, all right? And sponsorship, y'all holler at us. I drink one every podcast. But I like to wake up in the mornings, drop my boys off, and then go get me a chai tea, and I would sit in that parking lot for 30 minutes.
Right.
I don't want to hear anybody call, no emails, no texts. I just want to put on, typically for me, it's worship music. Let me put on some Maverick City, and I'm just zoned out, and that fuels me for the day. So when you see me in the morning, you're like, what is wrong with you? Why are you excited? Why life seems so good? Baby, because I've been fueled today.
Right.
But catch me today, I don't get my chai tea latte, or I didn't get that Maverick City or Shekinah Glory, or whoever it is.
Right.
Then you're like, dang, Chris off today. Yeah, it's because I wasn't fueled. And I think so many of us want to give out so much, but you're not putting enough in.
Agreed.
What do you think, because we both train majority women.
Right.
What do you think is a disconnection where women can potentially put more fuel in and not know they're putting more fuel in? For me, it was music. For me, it's the disconnect. Is there anything as a woman that you say, man, I do this, or maybe the amount of women you connect with where you notice like different trends? Out of a guy asking a woman, I'm seeing what could we do as men outside looking in to help women?
To help women fuel themselves?
Or notice they're not fueling themselves.
Notice they're not feeling themselves. But just like you said, like I think our energy levels are off. Maybe we're not communicating as much. Maybe we're a little bit more distant than normal. They're not showing up to their sessions, or they're not showing up to certain events. They're not calling, like they used to, or texting you like they used to, or communicating like they used to. Those are definitely ways to know that your fuel's off, for sure. No, definitely for us, yeah.
Interesting. So take a 3-second break, right?
Okay.
I thought of Tina when you said that,
Okay.
right? Because you catch, even in a dating world, right? You catch the frequent text message. You catch they know your schedule, so they call you at a certain hour. And I guess you're saying when that text is not coming through, that call, they may not be feeling themselves correctly, or the person that you train. So Chris Green, will be more noticeable.
Yes.
And you know what? I would love, because I do this, I think this is the unorthodox approach, T, that I take sometimes in the fitness space or in the consulting world, is somebody call me and they off, or I see them at a training session, hey, T, what's wrong?
Right.
Like, what's good? Talk to me. And then they kind of open up, and I'm like, all right, you feel better? All right, let's try this. All right, now let's go do what we need to do.
Right.
And I think that as we talk about I am alpha, to be a better man, to be more knowledgeable, to find more wisdom, to find more favor, is to be able to connect not just with other men, but with women too, right? So, all right, I heard you.
Yeah.
I heard you. Game. All right.
So what about for men? I know this is a women thing, but what about for men? Like, what are some signs for men? I'm curious. So you said that music helps fuel you. Mm-hmm. So what are some signs that the man is not being fueled?
See, when you hold your podcast, you're used to people
I'm just
like.
curious,
I love when they ask me the question back, and I'm not as quick on my feet as her.
No, you're good.
But I love to fuel myself, right? Music. Another feel too that I didn't say is I love when I talk to people. It's not a gimme.
Okay.
Because I'm in a service-based business. We're in a service-based business. Typically, when we talk to people, we're trying to fix a problem.
Right.
I love when somebody called me with good news. Jay called me the other day. I'm like, what's the good? Tell me some good news. So I feed off other people's energy. So that is a fueling thing for me. But when I'm off, I disconnect. Like, I shut up. Like, it's hard to shut this mouth up. So when I shut up, I'm off. Like, I'm drained. I would say another thing for men in general is when we try to communicate and you don't allow us to communicate, it's really difficult.
Okay.
And this goes from a professional level. This goes to your relationship with the boo. Like, if we try to say, hey, man, because we don't want to tell you.
Right.
In the business world, I don't want to say I'm struggling. In the business world, I don't want to say I need help. In my marriage, I don't want to say I'm struggling. But if I tried to kind of open that conversation and you turn it down, or you don't want to talk about it, or you already know the answer, or you already finishing my sentence before I get it out, that's when I'm like, and I shut down. So I would say just be aware of when a man tries to talk.
That's good. I'm bad about that. That's good. That's good.
Tatiana, no, I'm kidding. No, that's real
good.
tea. I
That's
think
good.
that, and that's the hope with the podcast, right? Is that we can have that conversation and that dialogue where someone says, dang, I never looked at it that perspective, because I'm going to only see it the way that Chris sees it. You're going to only see it the way that Tatiana sees it. So I'm just looking forward to implement.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, it's good.
Well, as we kind of wrap some things up, we've been traveling all throughout this last decade that I've known you.
Right.
Let me ask you this, because out of curiosity, as a fan of Fit with Curves, the name Fit with Curves, you kind of just touched on it a little bit. For me, being in marketing and understand analytics and how to put products out there, was that like the plan at the beginning, where you wanted to label something that I've never seen before as your brand, or did you just like, hey, I'm just gonna create this because I'm curvy?
No, it really wasn't. So I started off using my name. It was Tatiana Scott Fitness. And after competing, and I remember being like so distraught after I competed because, you know, I'm a curvy girl, right? So I think I went from like 182 to like 125 pounds in 5 months. It was crazy. And so I remember still like being on the stage with these girls, and like my legs are still a little bit bigger than the rest of these girls, and you know, my backside is still bigger than the rest of these girls. And so like I'm looking, you know, and of course they were telling me like your bottom's not firm enough, and I'm looking like, gosh, I just worked my behind off for 5-6 months.
Time out. How somebody gonna tell another woman your butt ain't?
Yeah, they definitely did.
I took off. I'm sorry.
So then after that, I just realized like no matter what I was gonna do, I was always gonna have my curves, right? And so I was always gonna be a curvy woman, and so why was I even trying to lose them, right? And so that's when I started using the term fit with curves. And you know what? And I was like, I'm gonna change the actual page, everything to fit with curves. And that's what I did.
And that's how it happened.
Yeah, that's how it happened. And then from there, literally, like when I was posting something on some page, literally I would just get followers just from, I think, the name itself.
Wow.
You know? And so your name is important.
Wow.
It's super important.
I love it, man. I've told people time and time before, like people that I consult for gyms and boot camp, if I can pick another business name, it would not be Mean Green, because the color is very intimidating. If you study colors, the name sounds very intimidating. Then when you say Mean Green Boot Camp, that's even more intimidating. So I 100% agree with you. The cool thing that I like to to kind of bring to everybody's attention, I thought you strategically did that, right? So it's so cool because so many people don't know how to start, and if you just kind of start, like you said earlier, sometimes it turns into the opportunity or the blessing. And the reason why I love Fit with Curves so much is because it's such a niche. I don't understand why women don't take advantage of it or didn't be prior to you.
Right.
But like, how many women that are curvy that want to be fit?
Right.
And like, put the camera on me on this one. If you're a guy like me, we love women with curves. So it's just naturally, I was blown away that there wasn't more. Because I think when I first followed you, I started kind of Googling curves or black women in fitness, other things, and I didn't see it. And I was like, wow, this girl is smart. Like, she's really crushing it. So I commend you. I'm giving you flowers.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I think that's
you.
incredible. Last point that I had with you was not, the term I wrote down on my very fancy napkin at Starbucks was not fair. I want to talk about your journey, my journey, and going to a situation and you just wasn't treated fair. Like, you kind of just said it while you were on stage.
Yeah.
Like, people basically, I don't know what place or what award was given or not given, but they criticize you based upon your shape. That's not fair. Right. So I'm curious, and I want to open this topic up because I know, sis, you dealing with a situation where they're not fair at your job. Maybe you're going through an unfair situation in life, and I want to see if we have something that we can kind of tell them that would empower them. Off the top of your head, it can be fitness. It can be someone that you helped in the fitness space. It can be outside the fitness space. Can you tell me about an unfair time that you overcame or you learned from?
I think, I know he has me asking deep questions here.
And I didn't send a whole bunch of questions before, guys, so
No,
this is definitely transparent.
So I think for me, I think sometimes, like say, so in my profession, so of course it's so easy to go back to training because that's what I do all day. But I think in this profession, I think what sometimes can get you down if you allow it to is just looking at other people, right? Comparing yourself to other people, right? So realizing, like, I've been in the game for 10 years. I have a degree in this, a certification in this. You know, I've gotten results. And then you see people out there who don't have any degree, no certification, never trained anybody in their life.
Preach.
And they're of course, we know that the followers don't equate to money, but you see people killing it, and they don't have anywhere near the knowledge or the understanding of fitness that we do. And so that's when you see, like, you know, you can kind of allow yourself, if you allow yourself to, get down and start to compare yourself to other people. And so I think that you have to, like, stay the course, right? You have to stay focused on yourself. And not you know, look at what other people are doing, you know, and just realize that you have a niche, right, and that you have a purpose that is different than someone else's. And that. When, like you said, like we were talking about earlier, if you stay true to yourself, yours will come, right?
That.
Even if it's later on, yours will come, right?
Love that.
So. Yeah, it's easy to.
That was good. Let me tell you why that was good to you. On my way here, I'm driving. And I knew I wanted to ask you that, and that was what I was going to say. Stay in your own lane. So as I try to respond back, I don't know what to say now because you kind of said what I wanted to say. You know what, I'm going to say this because we're dealing with this right now. This is very current. You know what's not fair is things that you cannot control and you're doing your best. And right now, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. Can I say it, Jared? All right. See, I get such a hard time with the city when it comes to permits.
Really?
I'm going there. Can I go there, bro?
Really?
I'm going there. So look, when I started this, 13 years ago, there was no permit on boot camp trainers, right? So I remember, like, 2 years in, you got to remember, here's this little skinny dude at Herman Park in one of the most popular parks. I got 60, 70 people there at 5:30 in the morning. One morning, guy came in, he was like, you can't do it. I was like, can't do what? You can't hold fitness boot camps. I was like, why? And he's just like, because you can't. And in my head, emotionally, I'm thinking right now, that is not fair. right? You met my older sister, Shanna. Yeah,
Yes,
you know Shanna. You know
Shanna,
Shanna.
yeah,
Shanna, luckily, I don't know why she was there at 5:30 in the morning, because God knows that she is not a 5:30 in the morning workout person. She's like, "What you mean? Where's the paperwork? I want to see this." And she just started going off, and he was like, "I'll be back." So like 6 months later, that's when they came with the document, and then on we had permits. So ever since then, they give us such the hardest time to get a permit. Currently,
What's happening?
currently, we want to get a permit.
Okay.
This is we're still in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
And when we all were shut down in fitness or in general, businesses start opening back up.
Right.
You had the bars, you had clubs, you had restaurants, gyms. All these spots start opening up with half occupancy, and it's still increasing to now everybody can go. It's one field that did not get the okay: outdoor boot camps.
That is crazy.
Right? So you can go to the strip club and open that up, but you can't open up an outdoor boot camp which has so much social distancing. It's outside, it's not research. It's so many reasons why we should be able to do outdoor boot camps. So almost a year, 13, 14 months later, now they're putting a permit back out. Now it's just so tough to get it, and now that we got it, it's like you can't be on the sidewalk or at parks. That's where it's lit up at daylight savings.
Right.
Right? They won't turn on the lights. So it's like, do your boot camp at 3 o'clock. We can't do a boot camp at 3 o'clock.
Right. People are at work.
Right?
Right.
I'm saying all that to say
Yeah.
that it goes back to, man, this is not fair. So Jared hit me up one day, we talking about it. I just said, man, screw it, bro. Like, we blessed, bro. Like, we're going to buy some lamps. We're going to buy some lights. And I think the thing that I want to pour out to you, bro, and to you, sis, is that life is not fair. Don't play a victim role. Go get it.
Right.
I promise. It's been so many sequences as a dude, it's a black dude, that I didn't get the opportunity that someone else was getting, and it just wasn't fair, but figure it out. You know, like, she just said a sequence in her life that she had to figure it out. The victim role doesn't get us there, and life is just not fair for everybody. I didn't grow up and get some funding to start Mean Green.
Zero.
You know what I mean? It was at a park because I was broke. That's why I couldn't go get a gym, right? And that's how it started. So I'm pouring my heart out to you guys to be vulnerable and transparent, to say that, man, life is not fair and it's okay. That's what cultivates Fit with Curves, right? That's what cultivates Mean Green. And if you continue to do that and get good at that, man, you'll be unstoppable.
Very true.
Yeah?
Very true.
I kind of went out on a tangent.
Yeah, you did.
Because it was true.
It was good.
It was true.
Good. It was a good tantrum.
We still,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go there.
Yeah.
We still dealing with it. But no, man, I think I said everything I wanted to say to my friend today.
Good.
And you said it earlier about me, but I definitely want to say about you, the way you carry yourself. I've seen you in the fitness space, but I also seen you outside the fitness space. I've ran into you. I don't know what concert it was.
Oh, Travis Green.
Yeah, Travis Green. Worship, yeah. So I was like, T, my girl T. I think we were by each other. It was I've seen you in different platforms, and you're still Tatiana. And I honor that, man. So continue to stand, continue to be bold. Know that you got a friend in me, a supporter, a fan, and I'm extremely proud. So as I finish every podcast, I always give you guys the floor. I will answer anything or comment about anything that you bring to the table. If you have something, is there anything you would like to discuss? But I do have one thing I want to talk about that you're bringing out.
Okay.
But is there anything else that you would like to ask me or wonder or whatever?
Off the top of my head. No, Chris. No, I don't. I mean, no.
Good.
No.
Good.
Yeah.
Makes my podcast easy to answer. All right. So last thing I want to leave with or leave you guys with is fashion, right? I'm no designer. Like, if I design clothes, y'all look bad. But my sis right here definitely have something in the work. I don't want to spill any beans, so I'm going to kind of give you the floor. I want you to tell them about the apparel that's going to take place.
Yeah, so I have, of course, been a trainer for almost 10 years now. So I, of course, am in activewear all day long. And so as a curvy girl, it is difficult, as you know, if you're watching this, to go to the stores and find activewear that fits us like how it's supposed to fit us, right? I don't want to have any gap on my waist. I don't want it to be see-through. It needs to be squat approved. And so there has been a few pieces that I found that I love, and I am determined to make sure that curvy women feel comfortable going out in activewear, right? So if you want to run your errands or you want to go to the gym, you should feel comfortable doing squats, and you shouldn't have stuff hanging out or see-through, right? So I decided to, this has actually been in the works for years. I've been ordering samples for like the last 2 to 3 years.
Dang.
Yes.
Really?
And trying to find the material that I like, trying to know what material to ask for. And so it is finally here. I finally found a manufacturer that is going to customize some pieces for me so that it fits us perfectly, right? So I'm talking about quality activewear, high compression, sweat resistant, moisture wicking, styles and designs that are cute, right? So that we can go into the gym and it not look cheap. I want it to look like a high quality piece. And so that'll come out hopefully in January.
Awesome.
We'll be launching it in January. So
Perfect
and we'll do jumpsuits and sports bras and all types of stuff. So the Fit with Curves Activewear, or FWC Active.
Awesome. I definitely put that in the description.
Yeah.
I can buy Tina something.
You sure can.
I was
You
gonna
sure
say
can.
I can't necessarily
Nah.
wear it,
but you can buy. But we will eventually come out with something for guys.
You know what?
But yeah.
That's so unique, because I think people think when you come up with apparel, it's like, oh, you just pick it from a magazine and it works. Like, y'all have no idea how much headache apparel is, from the standpoint of pricing to the amount you have to order to shipping to getting it there and it don't fit the way that you wanted it to fit. It's just, and I love what you said, squat approved.
Yeah.
What does that mean in your words?
So my work, so I started using this term like 9 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I actually used to buy clothes or buy activewear from different places, and I would try it on and I would squat in it to see if it worked. So squat approved means that when you squat down, I shouldn't be able to see any cracks, right?
Hey.
Or I don't want to see anything hanging out. I don't want to see. It shouldn't be see. It shouldn't be see through. It should be opaque, right? So yeah, that's squat approved.
I think
right?
that it's so funny because I would never buy tights for our gym again. So when they do lunch, we're just gonna put them in here and you sell them. Because I bought some tights once, and I'm gonna say her name, Britt. Britt squatted. She's like, I got my crack showing. She's just talking about like, I was like, why you didn't order the tight that? I was like, I don't know nothing about tights. So that's why me and Green don't have any tights. I know we train majority women, but no more tights, man, because they're a headache. But I leave everybody with this. If you don't follow my sis, definitely connect with her. You've been I think you are you like one of the OGs in Houston when it comes to fitness.
I don't know about that, but
I would say so.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of another woman that's done it longer than you in Houston.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't, and if I don't know you, I'm sorry, but I can't
Really,
think of nobody
Chris?
else. Was that rude?
Yes, rude.
I'm gonna clean it up. If I don't follow you, I would love to follow you. How about that? No,
Okay.
still came out bad. But no, man, I think even the content you put out, man, you put out so much good free content, and I wish we had time to highlight this, but you put out so much quality content. I know the service that you offer is 10 times is more impactful, and just continue to pour out, continue to change, continue to motivate, even to your peers, people like me. We watch, and we're empowered by your actions. So I'm a fan. I love you. Continue to do what you do. And guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in to the podcast. Hopefully you liked, hopefully you learned something that you didn't know. And if that's the case, make sure you give us a like up or a thumb up. Is it a like up or thumb up? Thumb up. Give us a thumb up, comment down below, share, follow my sis. You probably already follow her, but if you don't, make sure you follow her. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Cool?
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Anytime,
Appreciate
sis.
it.
Y'all take care.
Thanks.